I like League of Legends lore. Now I assume if you clicked on this video, you probably know at least a bit about League lore, or at the least know that it exists. But in that off case you don't know anything about League lore. And right now you're like, what? Lore? I thought this is just that one game I pretend to enjoy while actually being in Stockholm Syndrome relationship with. Then you have clicked on the right video. The world of League of Legends, where all the characters' backstories are set in, their comics are set in, their other games are set in, and even the hit TV show Arcane, watch it if you haven't yet, it's really good, is set in, is called Runeterra, and there is tons to discover. Now you might be thinking, this is just a gimmick to explain the game's happenings and not really a big deal, just something the creators at Riot came up with in their free time. And you would have been right about that, until 2014 anyway, when they completely remade the lore into a bigger, more fleshed out and generally just more interesting world. This new version of Runeterra is divided into 13 thematically and artistically unique regions, with some rather new and explored ones already established, and these regions range from harsh frozen lands, where survival is the name of the game, to ancient desert empires long buried making comebacks in the modern times, to magical realm full of immortal dwarves? Maybe a spiritual land full of living trees and ancient tradition is more to your liking. Or perhaps the complete opposite, a modern technology-focused city-state currently facing the consequences of capitalism in its final stage. No matter what thematic interests you or what kind of story you find interesting, there is something to discover for everyone, and this applies not only to the artistic or cultural themes, but also to morality and ideals. There are good guys who act like bad guys who act like good guys, and every shade of grey you can imagine. This extends not only to the characters, but also to the stories. You have heroes' journeys, you have tragedies, you have absolutely silly stories, or even horror stories about mad scientists experimenting on humans and committing horrible sins against nature and God himself. Runeterra is diverse in almost every way, featuring so many interesting things I could go on talking about them for hours, all fit into one world, interacting with each other at times, simply existing next to each other at other times. Now if you're like me and think this all sounds too good to be true, and immediately want to start reading or watching, I have to sadly disappoint you. Like so many things in life, if it sounds too good to be true, there is likely a catch. And in the case of Runeterra, there might even be multiple catches. For one, as you might imagine with a world so diverse and written by so many different people, there are inconsistencies. So many inconsistencies as a matter of fact that within the League lore community, the frequent retcons to make older lore fit together with newer stuff has kind of become a meme. And that can be awfully unsatisfying. Knowing your favorite stories are never set in stone and could always be changed to fit a new narrative can be quite aggravating to many fans, me included. And even with the retcons, there are still parts of the world that make no sense or remain unexplained, which I understand can be annoying to many readers as well. Secondly, with such a broad world and so many characters, it is nearly impossible to explore everything in depth. League alone has over 150 champions by now, all with their individual stories. On top of that, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of named characters or stories that simply remain unexplored as of now, leaving you behind unsatisfied. Like showing you a crazy delicious looking meal and then not giving you the food. Or getting a Thai massage but no happy ending. I think we're getting a bit off track here. My point is, there is not a lot of actual storytelling yet. And last year Riot hasn't really outdone themselves in that regard. There was one book and color stories for character releases, but not much more. It was overall way less content than the years before. However, and maybe this is just my copium-clouded mind speaking, but I believe that Rorito has some plans. I believe the reason this year has been a content drought is because they are moving writers, designers and artists away from their prior projects to have them work on new exciting things. For example, Anthony Reynolds, the guy who wrote the Ruination novel, is now writing for the MMO. If a lot of people were moved to different projects like the MMO or the fighting game, or heck, if you let me dream, maybe even a new animated series or a live action television, then that would mean there is a lot of Runeterra based content in the making. I do not have a single clue what's going on internally at Riot HQ, so this is as much my copium addiction speaking as it is an appeal to Riot, but I firmly want to believe that this is the case. Because Runeterra is way too beautiful to be left empty. I feel about Runeterra like it's a perfect construction frame for a brand new building, or perhaps the world's most beautiful canvas waiting to be filled with color. That's why I'm so excited about the MMO and about new animation or new books or new comics, or really any Runeterra content, because it would truly be a waste to leave that canvas empty. If you liked my video, I would be awfully happy about a like and subscribe. I know it's just a numbers game, but every single sub and like helps me a lot and brightens my day. I will try to always improve to create better and more content, so I don't make anyone second guess the decision to sub to my channel. That was it from me. Have a good day.